Hey guys, this is Locke, and this is my class match videos as of today, and there's one from yesterday as well. The idea here is that I'm basically trying to show how to play against a uh, like a double range team or a single range team with Frederica, and specifically players that are camping and on the pillars, not the pillars, like the heightened platform, whatever you call it. Because players say that it's really difficult to approach them, and they will shoot them down. So what do we do? So this is basically my strategy. I've actually switched where I'm standing now because it helps me approach much easier this way. Before I had positioned myself to avoid getting turn one, like a cheese blade combo, but now I see that basically everyone that I'm fighting is using Frederica, and a lot of players like to camp up on that platform, waiting for me to approach. So I've changed my strategy. So basically, in the very beginning, I still need to buff. So I only need one buff from King Mont, and then on the second turn I can approach. If during that time my opponent approaches, which is rare, but it happens. If that happens, I usually just wait for them to approach because I know they're coming. But most of the time, opponents don't really approach. So I figured, okay, so I will approach, but I need to buff everybody first, or otherwise they will just get killed on the way there. So the first turn I buff. The second turn, Frederica still buffs because she needs the aimed fire, and I am planning to keep her back anyway. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to make sure that my units are never within range to all get barraged. If King Mont and 9S are within each other to get barraged, that's usually okay because they don't really take too much damage from it. King Mont has 90% missile resist. 9S has, I don't remember how much, but he has a ton of missile resist, and both of them have a lot of defense. If Frederica is using barrage, she doesn't have any defense penetration, so they will probably take very little damage. Like during these fights, you can see that, especially 9S, because that's who they target first, he takes like 300, 500 damage. I think in one of these matches, might be this second match actually, or this match, I don't remember. One of these matches, my 9S took 5 shots in a row, like all being chained down before he got a chance to move, and he still didn't die. So that's I'm using that to my advantage. Secondly, I'm using my Frederica as a bait. Actually, she is obviously the most powerful character on my team because she has Frederica's Dream Vision card. So obviously she's going to be doing a lot of damage. However, by keeping her well back, first of all, so I'm obviously rushing. I have King Mont, I have Keen Blade, and I'm basically trying to rush across to my enemies as soon as possible. That's the idea. And I'm going to use Callum's Pride and Keen Blade to get my King Mont and 9S towards the enemy as fast as possible. But as soon as the enemies start attacking them, I then move my Frederica within range so that they can hit Frederica. But if they do that, now they're no longer focused on King Mont, and King Mont and 9S can easily take them all out. So maybe my Frederica dies, and I'm okay with that because Frederica's death basically means that I win the game. Because now they're all focusing on Frederica, that they don't really have much defense, especially if King Mont goes in and berserks 2 of them, I most likely won the game. So that's what I'm hoping for. So I'm using Frederica as a bait, and I'm using both of these guys to rush in as soon as possible. I think this is the game actually where Frederica almost gets killed, and my King Mont gets into a position where he can berserk 2 of them. Of course, games are still kind of decided by luck. I think in the third game I had quite a bit of reflexes that worked out in favor for me, but my opponent also had a couple of reflexes as well, and I think at the key moment, especially at the end, if he had reflexed one of my hits, then I would have lost instead of him. So luck still plays a part, and just now when my opponent was attacking King Mont, if he got stunned, maybe my opponent could have taken him out, and he wouldn't be able to get in and do anything. So here I can attack, but instead I'm trying to plan my next move. Actually, I don't remember if attack here or if I use Keen Blade. So I'm planning my next move so I can go in and berserk at least 2 of them. and my opponent is a little bit of in a tight spot, but he eventually decides that he's going to try to kill my Frederica. So this is what I mean, the bait. So my Frederica doesn't actually do much this game. If my Frederica had lived, she probably would have done a lot of damage, but I am basically forcing my opponents to attack her. And in doing that, I am able to set up a very good like a berserk limit burst, basically. See, I can get both of them. And I decided to go here and instead of going to get Nivlu, because 9S is the one that's moving next. So if I didn't berserk 9S, maybe he would have gone to attack Frederica or something. So this at least preserves a hit as well. And my Frederica, she actually doesn't do anything this whole game. I don't think she actually gets a single shot, and that's okay because she did her part, which was be live bait, because everyone hates her on this map, so they're all gonna focus her, and by doing that, that let me win this game. In the second game, it's a similar story as well. I think I'm up against Ildira, so I'm expecting them to use Ildira to use her limit burst to get a second turn, and I'm okay with that because my King Mont and my 9S are very beefy and tanky enough to withstand these attacks. The other thing is, a lot of people have said, oh, even if you buff a lot, Nivlu will just remove your buffs. While that is true, it costs her 40 AP to remove buffs because she has to use the Dispel Spread. And most of the time, she doesn't have 80 AP. She might have 40 something. If she does that, she probably doesn't have AP for one turn. So, you have to, opponents have to, if they really want to strip your buffs, they have to either give her the revitalized TMR, and if they do that, then Frederica is not going to be barraging you every turn because she doesn't have the AP for that. So if they give Nivlu the TMR to do that, then they are their Frederica is severely weakened. If they still decide to Dispel Spread, then they probably won't have any AP to barrier break you. And if you buff the next turn, they definitely won't have enough AP to use Dispel Spread a second time. And if they're doing that as well, there's almost no chance that they can use Nivlu's Limit Burst. So that's basically the strategy. It's been working out. As of this moment, I am tied for number 1, but there is still the third time slot today. So someone might overtake me. I hope it sticks. I hope I stay within number 1, but I don't know. We'll see, right? And again, I probably have to win all my matches tomorrow, because if I don't, the person I'm tied with for number 1 will probably overtake me, unless that guy also loses a match or something. But we'll see. I've never hit number 1 in class match before, so if that does happen, this would be a first. But we'll see. I mean, number 1 or not, it was okay. It was actually the class match that I disliked the most, because this map has been so boring, and I feel the design of it is the reverse of the design would be better. If the heightened squares were in the middle, not on the edges, so that if you want to get a height advantage, you have to cross the middle. That would, I think, be a lot more interesting than this silly design. But I mean, this is the map that we have, and this is what you have to play. So this was the strategy I came up with. In the beginning, I also tried camping a bit, but I found that I almost have a 50% chance to win or lose, because if both sides are camping, I mean, you either draw or you try to get the last hit somehow, and you basically, say your opponent also has a Cane Blade team. So then it's almost like a dice roll on whoever gets that last hit, right? So I would rather make my own plays, approach the enemy, and find a way to do that. So that's what I did, and this is the strategy I've been using for the past two days. I haven't really been making too many videos because I haven't been feeling too well. I've been having these headaches and dizziness, but I feel a lot better now, and I thought, okay, I can coherently get some thoughts into a mic. So hopefully people can understand. If it's a bit hard to understand, I apologize. But anyway, I've pretty much explained my strategy. I'm basically doing the same thing for the last game and this game. I'm basically like approaching as soon as possible. For the third game, my opponent also decided to approach me as well. So he had a 9s, Xmas Marcherie, and Frederica, and he used his 9s to close in on me as I was closing on him. So that was a little bit more interesting how that game went, and it could have. I think it was pretty much decided by like reflexes. Whoever got more reflexes won. But it was a very tight knit, close game. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy these videos, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. I'm going to stop talking, but I will let this video play out. So if you want to keep seeing how these matches go, feel free to do that. I'll just play some music for you guys to enjoy while you watch the rest of the matches. Take care now.